Hello students, in the last lecture we did single factor or one-way ANOVA. In the present lecture we are talking about two-factor or two-way ANOVA. There are two cases in two-way ANOVA. The first one is without replication and the second is with replication. First we are looking at without replication. Now the example we did for one-way ANOVA was marks of students in 3 subjects. Continuing with the same example, I have taken marks of students in 3 subjects plus another column is added which is student name. I have taken A, B, C, D, E. So the information is two-way. Row wise the marks of student is given, column wise marks in subjects is given. Since the information is students and subjects, so it is a two-way or two-factor ANOVA. Without replication means there is no repetitive information for a particular student, hence it is without replication. First we are running the test, then I'll explain you the hypothesis and results. Go to data, data analysis, select ANOVA two-factor without replication, OK. Input range is the whole cells of data, labels yes, alpha 0.05, output range where you need the answer, click OK. This is the results. ANOVA two-factor without replication. Basic descriptive stats are given student wise as well as subject wise. Count, sum, average and variance. Plus the results of ANOVA is given. Now look at the ANOVA table. ANOVA is giving us results row wise and column wise. Looking at rows, p value is 0.86. Looking at columns, p value is 0.01. Now what is row? Row is students. So the hypothesis for which row wise test is done is null being no significant difference between mean marks of students, and the hypothesis, null hypothesis, column wise is no significant difference between mean marks of subjects, which is economics, science and history. I repeat, in rows we have student information. So for rows the null hypothesis will be no significant difference between mean marks of students, and alternate will be there is significant difference between mean marks of students. For columns the information is of subjects, so the null will be no significant difference between mean marks of subjects, that is economics, science and history, and alternate will be there is significant difference in mean marks of subjects. The output table is this: rows, columns, error information is irrelevant. So for us we are looking at rows and columns and finding out answers for these two separate hypotheses. The decision rules remains the same. If the F value is larger than F critical, then reject null, and if p value is less than alpha, which is 0.05, then reject null. Here F value is less than F critical, so accept null. P value is more than alpha, so accept null. For the row or student wise hypothesis, accept null. So there is no significant difference between mean marks of students. In column wise, the F value is 8.59, F critical is 4.45, so we'll reject null. P value is 0.01 less than alpha 0.05, so we will reject null. When we are rejecting null, then we are accepting alternate, so there is significant difference in mean marks of economics, science and history subjects. Finally, the inference, there is enough evidence that marks of student do not differ significantly. There is enough evidence that marks of three subjects, that is economics, science and history, do differ significantly. When marks across subjects differ, in that case, let us look at this average. In economics, the average marks is 48, in science it is 61.8, in history it's 44. Looking at the averages, we can say that the average marks of history is low, so probably students find history subject most difficult. Thank you.